Video 2 of the day, the long one. I've been playing a bit of Horizon Zero Dawn lately. Well, actually, quite a bit of it, and I fucking love it. It's by far one of the best exclusives on the PlayStation 4 platform, and if you own a PS4 and haven't even considered playing it, then I think there is something definitely wrong with your brain. No, seriously, I think you should see a doctor. Its bleak outlook on the future of the human race has got me thinking though. But before I get into that, a poorly prepared review. Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a shit name, is set in a I don't know how many posts, like how many years is one post worth? Post-apocalyptic world where human-built machines have taken over the planet. In their domination, these high-tech machines have all but obliterated human civilization and seen Earth fall back into the ravenous hands of nature. You play as Aloy, also a shit name, an outcast from birth, raised by fellow outcast Rost, and that is a fucking awful name, and trained into a ginger-haired bow-hunting badass. The main plotline sees Aloy embarking on an adventure of discovery to find out who she is, where she comes from, and how exactly these dickhead machines came to rule the land. The story is intriguing, the world is gorgeously dangerous, and the combat is nothing short of brutally innovative. It's a far cry from developer Guerrilla Games' typical MO, but Horizon Zero Dawn is hands down one of PlayStation's must-play titles. Breathe. Now back to that bleak outlook of the future thing. Horizon Zero Dawn had me thinking about AI, and thinking if anything in that game could become a reality. And then I saw this. This terrifying monstrosity is called Eelloon. It's an autonomous seabot designed for inspection, maintenance and repair on underwater installations. Its creepy snake-like movement gives it tremendous dexterity, which makes it far superior to current technology designed for the very same purpose. And just look at it. This is science fiction fantasy turned into reality. Having seen this freak show pop up in my newsfeed, and having survived in the brutal world of Horizon Zero Dawn, got me morbidly intrigued about this whole AI thing. I wanted to know where exactly technology like this was going to take us, and if there is any potential that it could ultimately turn on its creator, namely, us. So I donned my academic cap, did my research, read one book, and now have the answer to that burning question. And I wish to fucking God I hadn't, because the reality appears to be a hell of a lot more creepy and unnerving than what Horizon Zero Dawn or any other sci-fi depiction thinks death by robot looks like. As it turns out, artificial intelligence already surrounds us, and is an integral part of our day-to-day lives. Your phone, your car, your computer, your iPad, your gaming console, and pretty much any other piece of computing tech is artificially intelligent. However, this current AI, as we know it, is known by people who have much higher IQs than me as something called narrow AI. All that means is that the current state of AI is designed to perform singular specific tasks upon our command and nothing more. Those narrow AI tasks can span from something as simple as getting a calculator to help us out with a difficult math problem, all the way to those wonderfully terrifying self-driving cars that Google and Tesla are currently designing. Never one to just leave shit alone though. Our human race is setting itself on a crash course to develop something called general AI. Sounds like a character in a comic book, or like a supervillain, like a James Bond villain. Mr. Bond, this is general AI. He's taking over the world. Now whilst narrow AI may outperform humans in those singular tasks, this general AI will be a learning AI, and will come to outperform us in almost any task we do. Things like economics, politics, policing, manufacturing, and a whole host of other industries will eventually be ran by an AI, and all at the same time. They'll run better too, because AI is logic driven and strives to find the most efficient path possible to completing said tasks. It will be able to predict patterns by instantly trawling through every single piece of information readily available on the internet and then acting upon them. Just imagine being in control of a political campaign, when you have instant access to each one of your constituents' social media accounts where they voice their opinion. Imagine then being able to collate that data, process it, and understand the general consensus of the population. And you can do all of that in less than a few seconds. You can then build an entire political campaign based around that consensus, and ultimately guarantee yourself election. Well, that's exactly the kind of function this type of AI will be able to accomplish. But how does this impressive intelligence turn into the ravaging robot dinosaurs of Horizon Zero Dawn? And they are robot dinosaurs. I don't care what you say. That's a dinosaur that looks like a robot. Or the time-travelling Austrian Terminator. Well, it won't. Sorry sci-fi fans, but those mechanical monstrosities will require some crazy self-sustaining robotics, and the current state of that industry is way off the pace when compared to software-based artificial intelligence. I mean, seriously, just look at the state of this.
Want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
Fortunately for us then, those bone-crunching, catchphrasing robots aren't going to be the death of us. That's great, isn't it? Sorry, no, it's not. Our deaths are going to be a hell of a lot more subtle. It'll be a slow death, a death by software. But how? How exactly is a glorified app going to bring about our potential demise? Well, we're idiots. We are constantly trying to push ourselves and push our tech that little bit further, all in the name of curiosity, often not considering the potential consequences. And with AI, the biggest fear is those undetected consequences. The very moment we push artificial intelligence beyond our own, it's pretty much game over. Once it's past that human intelligence threshold, this super intelligent AI will begin to develop itself at an alarming rate, without the need of human programmers. It will recode its own code. Electrical circuitry and computing tech simply functions far faster than our flabby, beer-filled biological meat sacks. And that means AI will be able to solve some of the many mysteries that have stumped humans for decades. It will be able to invent, to create, and to discover faster than any human ever has done. And with no human emotion, needs, or wants, it's got no distractions. Left alone and left untethered, this AI will come to remove the human element from pretty much every major function of our society, simply because it makes the most sense. People are slow, inefficient, and easily distracted by the most simple of things. This AI won't be. The consequence then comes in the form of control. An AI that supersedes our own intelligence could quite easily come to control us in the very same way we have manipulated and controlled species of a lesser intelligence to us. We have caged, killed and domesticated animals whose physicality is far superior to our own. Animals that could quite easily kill us with the swipe of a paw, claw, fang or tooth. Seriously, if you put me up against a gorilla in a fist fight, then I'm getting my face turned inside out. Give me a rifle, designed and built by human intelligence though, and I could put that cunt on the ground before he could even hurl his shit at me. Ultimately, intelligence, it'll always win, and that is why there are 7 billion of us on this planet. Super AI, though, will no doubt be able to control us in a very similar manner. Not necessarily from a benevolent perspective, nor an evil one, and probably not with a rifle, but from a purely logical one, to further its own survival by domesticating its only threat. Us. Couldn't we just switch it off, though? Find that off button and just be done with it? Well, bad news again, guys. As philosopher and technologist Nick Bostrom explains in his TED Talk, we've been able to stop other species finding our off switch.
We have an off switch, for example, right here.
So it's quite likely that an AI far more advanced than us will be able to do the very same. It will be able to fool us, to trick us into keeping it around. And just like the animals we control, we probably won't know it's even happening to us. It will be perfectly executed, nuanced manipulation that will probably let us think we have control, when we certainly won't. We'll be like an obedient dog, searching for the ball that our owner just pretended to throw. The task facing AI development then is finding a way to ensure that it won't enforce that control on us, even though it quite easily could. And how do we do that? Well, I don't know. I'm a big dum-dum, and I certainly don't have the slightest idea on how to control AI. Quite worryingly though, neither do the experts. There is no solid answer on how we get around this problem. Not yet, anyway. But let's not dwell on that. Let's say we do manage it. Let's say we do manage to tether AI, and tether it so it only serves our interests and our interests alone. Peaceful, futuristic bliss, right? Wrong! No, sorry, it's just not it. The secondary issue we face is one of communication. AI is essentially alien to us, in the way it thinks, and being able to communicate what we want, without it being misunderstood by AI, is very problematic. In his book, Smarter Than Us, The Rise of the Machine, Stuart Armstrong uses this analogy to illustrate this very point. Let's start with something simpler. Saving your mother from a burning building. The flames are too hot for you to rush in and save her yourself, but in your left hand you carry an obedient AI with incredible power to accomplish exactly what you requested it. Quick! You shout to the AI. Get my mother out of the burning building. But the AI doesn't react. You haven't specified your request precisely enough. So instead, you upload a photo of your mother's head and shoulders. Do a match on the photo. Select your mother's whole body, not just her head and shoulders. Define the centre of the building and require that your mother be at a certain distance from that centre very quickly. The AI beeps and accepts your request. Boom! With a thundering roar, the gas main under the building explodes. As the structure comes apart in what seems like slow motion, you glimpse your mother's shattered body being hurled into the air, travelling fast, rapidly increasing its distance from the former centre of the building. That wasn't what you wanted, but that was what you wished for. Essentially, what Armstrong is saying here is that implied meaning gets lost when talking to an AI. Obviously, to another human, that request makes perfect sense. We understand what it would mean to get our mother out of a burning building. We don't need to define how we would like her out in one piece, and preferably breathing. We know this without explicitly saying this, because we're not rational, logical beings. We're emotional beings, and can understand and empathise with people with very little in the way of verbal communication. AI and its computing foundation is logic-based, so the only way to work around that is to program human morals and human emotions. And that's an almost impossible task considering we don't even know how emotions work in our own brains. Basically, what I'm getting at is that if we just leave it alone and keep riding into the future with those blinders on, then AI is going to fuck us. So when? When will that happen? When will AI hit that super intelligence, begin the fucking and become our omnipresent ruler? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The experts, they're vague on that one. Some say within the next decade, others say within the next century. One thing that many of them do agree upon, though, is that very real security problem that I've been talking about. Because this security problem is now more than just hypothetical wondering. It's an inevitability. It's an inevitability. Inevitability. I can't even... I wonder why I'm having trouble with this one. Even the greatest minds of our society, like Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk and Bill Gates, have come out to express concern about this very issue. The fact is that we are developing our technology at a phenomenal rate. In just 10 years, we've gone from that shitty first generation iPhone that didn't even have an app store, to something like this. My own personal assistant that I can just speak to, that can organise my life and help me in the most simple of day-to-day tasks. Alexa, play The Smiths.
Playing songs by The Smiths from Spotify.
Take me out tonight, driving in your car. I never want to go home.
And just as that kind of tech advances, so too does AI. The Amazon Echo is an AI, albeit a simple one and definitely still a narrow AI, but one whose performance is becoming more and more general. Of course, this could have already happened. Wow, wait, what? What? Yes, this could have already happened. There is some significant theory out there that all of this is just a computer simulation. Yes, like that film. We've already built our own virtual worlds where we can pretend to be Batman or be an overzealous surgeon in an emergency room. So what's to say that an artificial intelligence hasn't already developed that further, implanted it in our brains from birth, and have us live out our lives in this virtual world? I told you this was creepy. As fascinating as AI is, it is becoming more and more clear that developing it to the point where it doesn't seep into every inch of our lives is essential for our survival. We are a brilliant species, capable of accomplishing things that no animal should even have the audacity to attempt. But as history has taught us many times over, our brilliance can sometimes lead to our downfall. If we don't heed these warning signs as we tread carefully into this AI world, then our creation of it could be the last time that the human species gets to be brilliant. Our fates will be worse than Aloy's. Instead, we'll be mindless servants to this. Alexa, do you want to kill me?
No, I'm not dangerous.
Yo, I hope you enjoyed that. But don't go anywhere just yet. There's some further reading I've posted in the description below, just in case you wanted to dive a little deeper into the whole world of AI. There's a ton of info on it out there, and I couldn't conceivably squeeze all of it into this short video. So go check it out, I implore you. It's fascinating, if not a little bit terrifying. If you need me, I'll be in here. Batman. Well, that's that, kids. Thanks!